Hello,
No.
friends. Ah, Dance interrupted. I was going to welcome you to Snap Judgments, and now you haven't been welcomed.
I didn't know.
I don't even know what episode number we're on. This is Marvel Yap now. Dance, introduce us.
But Tucker introduces us in Marvel Yap. Tucker, introduce us.
Hey, yo, what is going on, everyone? A brand new episode of the Snap Judgments podcast today. Today, I am joined by not only the greatest podcast host in existence right now, good old Pulse Glazer, and we are joined by Not My Dance. Where can these lovely listeners find you today, Pulse?
I am at TUCCRR, where you can find me being the Pirate King and being completely amazing. Where can they find you, Dance?
You can find me over at Snap Judgments on YouTube or at Pulse Glazer as well on YouTube. Or you'll find me over on Twitch, where I'm sometimes pushing to Infinite with Smalls, even though I don't actually hit Infinite, and Smalls just kind of sits there, helps me out for 3 minutes, and then leaves.
Hey, I hit Infinite every season. I actually hit Infinite last season. We decided to watch Abbott Elementary for the third time. My son wanted to watch a sitcom. We felt like it was harmless, and watching a sitcom for the third time meant I could play Marvel Snap mindlessly while I was watching, and I hit Infinite in like 2 hours. I used negative. It was
Dang
not
it.
hard. Sorry, I've still hit Infinite every season since I started. Although we'll see about this season.
That's fair. Didn't you just say you hit Infinite?
Hey, I did. No, I didn't hit Infinite this season. That was last season. Sorry, I played once this season.
Oh, okay.
I'll get back to another game later. Actually, that's not fair. I loaded up the game last night, and the second I finished my dailies, I turned it off. So I climbed like 2 or 3 levels, and then I was done. But we didn't ask Tucker where we can find him.
You can find me on twitch.tv/youtube.com/twitter.com at notmydance. That is NOTMYDANCE. Kind of think like Mickey Mouse, but it is not my dance.
We did the polka.
What do you mean Mickey Mouse?
I said it like the MICKEYMOUSE. That's what I did.
I understood it.
Got it. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I will, in about 2 weeks, I will be in Hong Kong Disney.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
My son's birthday and wedding
me a churro.
anniversary. Oh, hey, by the way, as we're recording this, I guess I only said this on the Discord and to YouTube, but today is 3 years of a Snap Judgments video coming out every day on the YouTube channel. So 3 straight years, we made it. I don't know if we're going for 4. I might decide to take a break when I have to travel back to the States, but 3 straight years of a video every day.
It's amazing.
Let's freaking go. That's awesome.
So, yeah. This will be day 300, year 3, day 1's video officially on the YouTube. All right, let's do
Wouldn't it be year
thing.
4?
It'll be, yeah, I don't know how math works. Sure, I believe you.
Let's go. Still, 3 years. Freaking insane.
Yeah, 3 years. Wild. One day, I was mad that a different Marvel Snap podcast had way more views than mine, and I thought we did better content. And Roy goes, well, they post daily and you don't. I went, I can post daily. And Roy went, no, you can't. You don't have time for that. And I went, oh, yeah? Hold my beer. And he's still holding it all these years later. I should get him back on
Is his
that.
arm getting tired at this point?
I don't know. I'm not really worried about it. He's a vegan, so he's got that like super strength.
I thought you needed more strength if you were vegan.
No, vegan gives you super strength. It gives you it gives you psychic powers, so I assume that gives you super strength. Does anyone get that
psychic
reference?
Powers, not super strength.
No, Tucker.
I think it was from Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, because you know how to read what the White Rain Brady says. You should both watch. Both watch Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I used to love that movie, but I did not remember that quote exactly.
Yeah, it's who is it? The guy who ends up Brandon Routh is the vegan new boyfriend who has superpowers because he's vegan. All right, ready? Let's rank the new season.
All right,
That's a plot point. That's fantastic.
It is. It's an amazing movie. You would absolutely love it. But we're going to talk En Sabah Nur because we have a time limit, so we have to actually keep it moving. So En Sabah, I don't have a time limit. I think I'm going to stream Slay the Spire after this. But our time limit is other reasons. So En Sabah Nur is a time displaced apocalypse type thing. Objective: have a full front row at each location, then transform into Apocalypse Celestials chosen. Apocalypse Celestial's Chosen is a 4/8 on reveal. Swap the lowest power card in your front row at any location with a card from your deck. Let's actually, before we talk about this, have Tucker first tell us what Objective is, and then tell us your thoughts on Objective.
So Objective is the new ability they've added in the game, where it retroactively checks if you've met certain conditions or met certain conditions throughout the course of the game. Some of them have to be concurrent conditions. You'll see that with the preface "have" right after the objective, meaning concurrently you have to had said kind of like pathway or said kind of like campaign kind of whatever take place beforehand. Whereas like En Sabah Nur says "have full front row." That means concurrently with En Sabah Nur in play, have 6 cards total on the board, 2 in each lane, concurrently in order for your objective to go off. This of course checks at the end of turn. It is not an end of turn card, but the objective checks to be completed at the end of the turn. And so in this case it'll check. You'll see a little icon appear every single time you meet a said condition for the objective, and a little ping. It is a purple, of course, exclamation point, and it tracks it for you. It does track it for you in hand and on the board, but an objective does not go off, of course, until your card is in play. And like I said, if you have the "have" word right next to objective, it means concurrently, opposed to just in general throughout the course of the game.
God, he's so good at this.
He is. But do we like it?
I think we haven't had enough objective just yet to have like a full kind of like idea of it. I think the "have" kind of cards, I think, make it feel a little bit slower. I think once we have some more of these other objective cards that don't have the "have" text, I think you'll see kind of like a real night and day difference between those cards. So I think with the ones we have currently, no pun intended.
Concurrently?
Yeah, the ones we have concurrently, it feels a little just whack in some instances. I think with Apocalypse especially, because it's not swap with a greater power, I think you feel more so of that low roll, maybe more often than not than you do the high roll. But I think it also, boils down to the deck building when it comes to some of this objective stuff early on. But I think like with the cards we have later in the season that don't have the "have," I think that's when we really will see like, okay, wait, actually doing this seems pretty solid.
Mr. Not Dancing?
I mean, I agree. Yeah, I think the card is. I think that Objective is a sick mechanic, and I actually think that I think En Sabah Nur is fine. I don't think it's anything crazy, but I honestly, especially in comparison to how spicy some of the recent season passes have felt, it just feels like a good card. I don't have any issue with him. He just feels like a fun card. I like what he does. He seems interesting. And yeah, I think it can be a bit of a downer when it doesn't swap a higher power card, but it just makes your deck tracker truly the most OP thing in the world because you know what you're going to get. And you have the ability to stack your deck, quote unquote, aka have a really great memory, aka just read your deck tracker.
Yeah. I think Apocalypse is both bad and boring, which is not a good place for Season Pass to be. So, like, he's going to need a buff. He needs to get higher cost cards at the very least. You could also make him a 4/10 upon transformation. I would play him as a 4/10 upon transformation, I think. I would also happily play him if he swapped higher cost. Without either of those being the case, then I'm not a big fan. I thought he was going to be great with the hood, but then you realize that if you don't draw the hood, he can pull out your hood.
Yeah.
And that's a real feel bad. When you're like, oh, I had 3 power there. Oh, now I have -3 power there, and I'm stuck with it. Right? Like, that's gross and bad. However, despite my feelings on Apocalypse being junk, and like I genuinely think he's like nearly 4/3 Captain Carter level bad. Like, clearly and obviously needs an obvious buff, or he's just going to be unplayable level of bad. And like, I guess, sorry, outside of Thanos, I think he's fine with Thanos. I do think that the objective mechanic is really cool. So much of Marvel Snap, and as we talk about this, I'm going to say this over and over again, I'm so sorry, is just find new ways to put green power on cards. And Objective
Yeah.
is an actual new way to put green power on cards and do other things in the game. It takes a lot of things that would happen at like very specific timings and changes that timing in ways that makes them if not more powerful, certainly more interesting and changes the deck building considerations for them. So like I think that this is like a home run of a mechanic. Genuinely, honestly, probably a better mechanic than end of turn or activate in my opinion. Just like I think this actually kind of makes activate sort of unnecessary. This is just a cooler idea.
Yeah, I think it actually hits the ground running way sooner than Activate did too. I think also when Activate came out, we also had 4 cost cards that
Mm.
were, some of the main Activate cards, which was a feels bad. And since, this can happen same turn play without needing necessarily another enabler to make the ability kind of proc immediately, like a Joe Costa kind of thing, I think that really helps this too. And I think they're coming out with a lot of just objective cards that are cheaper earlier on than they did with Activate, because I feel like we got
Hmm.
Activate and then we took a break from Activate for a while, and I
Mhm.
think that kind of like offset it a lot. But no, I think they've done an incredible job with this, and I really think this adds another potential element of like skill expression too, with objective too, because like you can get the objective to go off at certain points later on, because you set up your like board in a certain way. And I think that's my favorite part about Snap is when you can truly see like skill expression,
Mm.
and stuff. So I'm very excited to see, what the future of objective holds, with that kind of in mind.
So,
I mean, objectives are just awesome, I think. I
mm,
I think you said it. I like the comparison to Activate, not just in terms of how you use the ability, but also in terms of the launch. And I hadn't
Hmm.
thought about the thing that Tuck just said right there, where it was like, we're getting a lot of cheaper objectives very quickly. And we're not getting one cost activates or one cost objectives. And I don't think we should for a bit, because it feels like those would be very powerful considering that you can copy those on other cards. But the cards that we're getting with the objectives, it's not the most difficult to do them.
mm,
A lot of times it feels like, oh yeah, this is kind of just a bonus objective, right? Like have a full
Hmm.
front row. Okay, yeah, like most likely I can do that without really doing too much. Have We'll talk about Juggernaut, but right, have 6 different costs of power. Okay, sure, yeah, I could do the stuff. There's some of them where it's like, yeah, you need to build around this. You need to do a lot more weird stuff for this. We'll talk about Gambit, but like it's really cool. I've enjoying this initial objective. I like the UI stuff, even if I'm tired of the little bing 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 thing. Other than that, like it.
you do that again?
No,
Like the crazy frog. Like, that's what I
exactly.
was kind of thinking the whole time.
Uh, all right, that feels like a good point to leave that portion of Activate behind. I want to talk next about Iska. Before we talk about Iska, Iska's better than Apocalypse, right? Can we all agree to that?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Iska goes above Apocalypse. Let's do the Iska thing now. So Iska the Unbeaten. Tucker, wanna read it?
So Iska the Unbeaten is the 4 cost, 3 powered super premium season pass / also in seasonal series 5 snap packs card with the ability end of turn. If you're losing this location, double this card's power.
Take us away.
So this card's solid. I think what's really interesting about this as one of those like 4 cost scalers is like more often than not, I think prior to something like the Shu Lao season, we felt like 4 cost cards are in a very just wacky kind of spot, and then also 5 cost cards. And then we've had back-to-back seasons where it's like, wait, we actually these crazy like 4 cost enablers or these potential 4 cost game winners. And Iska in some games is like a 4 cost game winner, or it's a you literally have to just not play into my lane
Hmm.
and fight for the other 2 lanes, kind of, which is another way of saying game winner. But this
Different
adds another
timing.
like layer of like, yeah, it's different timing for it. And like it's another like the psychology of, wait, can I actually beat Iska here? End of turn has new legs. This also is used in junk decks with like a nihilist sentry things. It's also a Doom 2099 card. Like Doom 2099 was already kind of starting to get legs anyways. Again, with like the cards last season, like with Moondragon, and just using it as like a tempo kind of control kind of deck. And I feel it's like it's easier, or maybe not easier, but like hitting tempo right now with those decks and playing 1 card per game, even though the Doombots don't have any base power and they get the concurrent ongoing power. It feels like there's a lot of different options, and for an end of turn card, like to be in a variety of different decks is pretty cool. And of course, it always just puts into perspective how good doubling the mechanic, is in Snap, and
Mhm.
this is no exception, even with the end of turn text.
Don't.
I like her. I'm gonna focus on the weak part about her, which I think is the most interesting. Uh, which is her the way that she works with objective cards, because objectives happen after the end of turns, which is it's weird in terms of like the order, but like that's a really cool bit, and I've loved being able to use Apocalypse or Juggernaut just to beat her, because
Mm.
I play one of them in the lane and then they get the trigger after she checks, and it's okay. And that's I think that's really cool that they bring a really cool card like Iska into the game. And I think if we got this card a month ago, this would have been busted. But we immediately then get an answer to this card in a brand new mechanic in which more cards could see it. They even mentioned, I think, inside of in the dev video where they talked about this, where they talked about objectives and Iska, all the new cards. They talked about how Phantom X is a card in particular that they were potentially looking at into becoming an objective, which is interesting. And so
That'd
I
be crazy.
think, yeah, it'd be crazy for one, but also
Uh,
I like what Iska brings. It's just a simple card that doesn't feel like it's busted, and also her interactions when you tie. Mirrors interactions are a lot of fun. They promote like deck not like this just feels like a really in-depth card with a very simple ability. I like it.
so the problem is this goes in every deck. Like, and I know we haven't got there yet because people
Mhm.
are still experimenting, but this is too easy to play in every deck. On turn 4, unless you're playing exclusively like a super giant deck, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be behind in one location, and then you have what amounts to a 412. Like, it's
Mhm.
basically always a 412, right? And like,
Yeah.
if you do it right, it's a
Mhm.
424. If you do it right, it's a 448. And at that point, we're starting to run into trouble. I like that they
Yeah.
took into account that if it's negative power, by the way, it stops doubling, which is nice because it would basically double infinitely because you would never get back around to winning.
Wait, really? I didn't notice that. That's fun. I haven't had it get negative. That's fun.
Someone sent me a screenshot of it and was like, "Look, it doesn't go forever." It's like, good. I mean, it wouldn't go forever, but you know what I mean. It just doubles once, and then like, but the
Yeah.
Invisible Woman shenanigans would just be like, "All
Mhm.
right, let's go," and it will give up apparently. So that's nice. But I think that she's going to be really fun for about a week, and then we're going to realize, oh no, she's easily the best proactive four in the game. And I don't think there's partially because I don't think there's another good proactive four, right? Like you can argue
Yeah.
Supergiant and Negasonic are proactive, but they're control cards. They're for a different type of deck.
Mhm.
She's the best I want
Mhm.
stats for in the game, like by a crazy, crazy, crazy amount. I don't think
Mhm.
there's anything that remotely compares to her. She's absurdly better than Scarlet Spider in Sholau decks,
Yeah. Mhm.
which seems like a bad thing, because Scarlet Spider had the really, really easy counter card, and this does not. I mean, I guess Shadow King will turn this off enough, right? Like it's 12 power now, it's down to 3, and then it'll only go up to 6. Seems like a
Mhm.
reasonable way to like stop it. Although the end of like I don't know. This card
Y'all
is
not running the meta dominant ghost?
no, no, I'm not. But like this card is just gonna end up being too good. I'm pretty sure. It's it doesn't feel what they did that I think was brilliant was that it stops working when you're winning. So it doesn't feel as
Yes.
bad right now as a lot of other cards where like part of what
Mhm.
made Star-Lord and makes Fin Fang Foom often feel bad is that you're looking at like 60 power on the opposing side and you're sitting there with like 20 and feeling like a schmuck, right? Like
Mhm.
Iska can like I had a game where Iska represented like a billion power. I need to upload that video. But like I had a game where Iska represented like a billion power, but she stopped at like 24. Right? Like she would have
Yeah.
kept going
Hmm.
till to like she would have beaten literally anything anyone could have done in that lane as long as it wasn't the negative power location. The
Mhm.
less power location wins, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
sh- but she doesn't make you feel that way because her number doesn't show it. So that is a really really
Mhm.
nice piece of design. But like this card is going to be too good. I don't think it's as good as Star Lord or Sholau, but I don't think it's far behind. I think I think it's probably right now better than Maverick, which would probably to me make it the third best card in Marvel Snap. The
More
only thing,
expensive than both the other. It's more expensive than the other cards too.
well,
Which is, but technically you can get in seasonal snapbacks too.
yeah, but you have to have been caught up with everything, at which point you probably buy the seasonal snapbacks. The other
Yeah.
thing that's really notable, the other card that like competes in this general spot, I think, is Supergiant, but people haven't got there yet because Supergiant shuts down not only all the end of turn stuff, it shuts down all the objective stuff, and that's about to be real, real strong. Or it shuts
Yeah,
down when
really-
you can play the objective.
Because objective down does not complete at the very end of the game, right? After a super
No.
giant.
Exactly.
It doesn't. I don't know if I agree with her being stronger than Maverick for what it's worth. I could see it, but I don't know if I'm there with that.
I don't think
It's a
she's
fun
better.
card.
I don't think she's better than 3/3 Maverick. I think she's better than 3/2 Maverick.
She was supposed to be a 3-cost too. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good thing we didn't get that. It's just she's very, very easy to put any power on, and then she sort of auto
Bro, I
wins
can't
away.
believe you just called it Apocalypse's wife or sister-in-law, apparently, as they were wrong in the dev video.
Mhm.
Easy.
Yeah, I knew she wasn't his wife. I mean, as long as she doesn't lose, she's down for whatever. But yeah, no, I think this card is absolutely stupid. I'm not sure it's the best card of the season. I think there's another completely broken card this season, but I think that this card is like because it doesn't feel as bad right now. I think people are not realizing how insane it is.
I believe that.
All right.
Yeah, the card's very strong.
So like it's at worst a top 5-ish card in Marble Snap. All right, Dunce,
I like it.
read us your card.
Juggernaut Horseman of War is a 2/2 with the objective ability have 6 different powers among your other cards in play. Now, the have, of course, as Tucker pointed out earlier, does mean it's concurrent, so it checks the currently. If you currently have 6 different powers among your other cards in play, and if you do, Juggernaut Horseman of War gains +6 power. So this card is pretty typically a 2/8. It's not the highest deck building cost in order to run this inside of your deck. It's not free, but there is a cost. And this is this is a type of card I really love. This is a good card in my opinion. I'll be told I'm wrong. I think it's fine, but it's also a stat stick that you can easily swap out. It's like one of those just, okay, yeah, this is where I have a lizard I really want to get a lot of points with. Okay, well, why not use Juggernaut Horseman of War? Or if you don't have Juggernaut, okay, you could try. There are replacements. This is a good card that I don't think people need to get because even if it's being used, it's a replaceable card. I don't know. I like Juggernaut.
Yeah, I think like this card has a really good like baseline to get to like a 2/8. I think like you have to have 6 different powers amongst your other cards in play isn't necessarily the hardest thing to achieve. But there's certain instances where I'm like, maybe I don't really necessarily want to have just different power on the board. I kind of want to maybe have like certain power to just in general. I think what makes this good is also like as you said, Dan, Sue, it's like being objective. So like even if in this moment I have the same power on the board, I have cards that have abilities that gain power, so then just retroactively Juggernaut will check at the end of the turn to get to that 2/8 stat line. It's putting more into perspective like what is a solid 2-cost card, like what is the baseline of gain power you need to have in order to be like this is like a plug and chug kind of like 2-drop situation. And I think like there's certain matchups you're like, okay, well, I mean, I added 6 power to my Juggernaut, I should be good. And it's like, well, actually, my Moondragon scaled, insanely high, or like my Chambered and stuff. Of course, those aren't the same because like they're different styles of cards. But this is a pretty good just like stats card. But like you said, I think it's a replaceable card. It's not necessarily a must-have in a bunch of different decks, but it's not like necessarily a feels bad, to have this in a deck.
Yeah.
I think his big problem right now is that the deck that wants him wants power early. Supergiant decks, like decks that want prio early, don't benefit from the 2/2. And there's not another deck that I think really is crazy about him. I've seen him in a couple different bounce and bounce move shells, and I'm just not sold. I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think a 2/8 is good enough for those decks. But like, I don't know. I think he's just kind of fine. A 2/8 should be broken in Marvel Snap. I will die on that hill. It's the hill that I'm planting my flag on. 2/8 should be too much stats for a Marvel Snap card, and that Juggernaut isn't, suggests something I think is reasonably unhealthy about the game. Like if we compare
It's
if we compare him to old Angela, who would get to 2/8 and you'd be like, "Woo, 2/8, let's go! I'm winning this game." Right? Like I don't think that's a good thing. Reasonably unhealthy for how I prefer Marvel Snap at the very least. But there's just not a home for him. I think eventually there will be. Eventually he's going to be a perfectly fine card, but right now there's just not really a place to play him. Why are you yelling? My cat just walked downstairs and started screaming. I don't know if you can hear him.
we probably deserved it. I don't know why, but that's what I heard. Anyway, I feel like it's not a two. It's not even if it is a 2/8. It's not a free 2/8, which I think is my personal. That's where I'm more okay with the card, because even if it is right that 2/8 stat line, it's you have to do a lot of stuff in order to get said 2/8, and that feels better to me, especially considering again it's not like a free inclusion. It's not difficult, but again, it's not free either. And the places where you want to use this card the most, you can't use it as easily, like you talked about with Supergiant. And I think that also like gives you like how do you use this card effectively? Because even if you can do it, you have to do a lot of stuff to get this guy working, and it's not. I think that my end point is just it's not a free 2/8, and that's where I like it.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think there's enough decks that sort of get you there. How do I put this? That like get 2/8 by accident.
I see what you're saying.
Like there's enough deck. Like he's not a 2/8 in every deck. It's just when he's a 2/8. Like I don't think you're ever building to like a deck and being like, haha, I will build around Juggernaut Horse no more. You're building a deck and going, oh look, I can have a 2/8 here because I'm running enough
Mhm.
different costs. Right? Like I think the classic Victoria Handshell is a really both healthy deck and a really good example of where Juggernaut makes a lot of sense.
Do you think that Lin Lee's okay?
Yes, I think Lindley is actually a great card. One of the best designs of the past several seasons.
I do really like him as well. What's the difference in your personal opinion? Because again, not I'm because I want to understand it. What's the difference between Lin Lee and Juggernaut in terms of being that like 2/8 stat line?
So, well, Lindley's bigger than that now, but yeah. So I
True.
mean, it's fundamentally like Lindley requires both a deck building and a play cost, like that you have to like constantly consider. You don't like you have to actually build a deck to run Lindley. You don't just get to like accidentally really run Lindley, and then you have to lean into him. Juggernaut, you're just like, all right, well, I've got these cards that all have these different numbers on them. Boop, this goes in the deck. I think that like Juggernaut and Lindley are probably both very good and could be healthy cards, but Lindley is a good card that's probably too hard to use right now, and Juggernaut is a good card that doesn't have a home right now. And if you're going to put that kind of stats on a 2-drop, they should be some of the better cards in the game. I'm not saying they shouldn't put those stats on the card. I'm saying it's a problem that they're not as good as they should be. And Lindley gives you enough stats to win a lane, and Juggernaut doesn't. So he's worth the extra trouble.
Interesting.
At least that's where I land. I like again, some people
Yeah,
really
yeah.
like the combo meta and are like all about that life. I'm speaking like I want to be clear. I'm not saying I do this once an episode, I feel like, but I'm not talking about the way Snap should be. I'm talking about the way I prefer Snap, and I think that's a fundamental important difference.
That's fair, right? I think that's a very good thing to talk about, though, in terms of what you want from the game, whether or not whether or not I agree with it or not, irrelevant. Honestly, it's just what you want to play. Because guess what? In the end, we're all talking about our opinions. We want to play a game that we want to play. So I like that clarification, and I also think it's a good place to build and talk about decks from in the
Well,
game.
the decks I've hit Infinite most with are like Surfer and Bounce, like Bounce when it was fair, and that's how I prefer to play Marvel Snap, right? Last season I hit
Mm.
Infinite with Mr. Negative, which is not how I prefer to play Snap. It just felt like the necessary way to do it. I think that's fundamentally the difference.
Mm.
Does the power lie in combo or does the power lie? Like I don't mind combo, right? Like a Surfer's still a combo deck. It's just a smaller combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I land on this.
Oh, I like it. That's a good. I like your insight. I like the understanding behind that. It's good stuff.
Thank you. All right, let us. Oh, is this better than Apocalypse? I think so, probably, right?
Is it? I actually like it. I like it. I feel like more than Apocalypse. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
like it better than Apocalypse. Tuck?
We're not like I'm not a firm yes or no, but so do the 2 out of 3.
Okay, sounds good. All right. I guess I'm talking about Mr. Goldiebeard. It is my least favorite character design in Marvel Snap because I think this is the ugliest looking character they have ever put in the game. I don't know what's happening with him. This is so 90s for a 2000s character, it actually hurts me. It's Gambit, Horseman of Death, who has gold plated purple and blue all over himself, including a gold goatee, which you have to see to believe. Objective play 5 total cost of created cards, randomly destroy 4 total cost of enemy cards. 05. Tucker.
So I don't see a world that this card is bad by any means whatsoever. I think this card just is going to be really good. I think just being able to look at created cards, being played, and it's not concurrent in play. So it's just in general have created cards played throughout the course of the game. This is one of those like biggest instances of
Hmm.
copy this card and just profit. So like this card, I have like fundamentally is going to be a menace to face here. We didn't really like Victoria hand metas, but we're going to be kind of getting some Victoria hand stuff. Also Thanos, also Merlin, so it'll count skills, created skills in general here too. And it is an RNG aspect though of destroy 4 total cost cards. It doesn't have necessarily a priority of which it destroys kind of thing here. It'll just destroy up to 4 total cost of enemy cards. So if you have multiple of these on the board, you can destroy a variety of different cards. So like let's say you do destroy all the 1-drops they have, or all the 2-drops, 3-drops on the board, and Eriska's the only card left, and that's the only 4-drop on the board. Gambit could target that. So I think like this is one of those instances where copied objective cards can get crazy. It'll be like the first instance of that, because I think in the future we're gonna have a lot of objective cards when they're copied and duplicated. Like the game just turns into an absolute mess, and you get even more like mages actually being at a 2 cost. Maybe could be scary with Gambit. I think it gets scarier with cards more so next season. But it'll be just like kind of put that like into perspective. Like, wait, this objective stuff is kind of crazy, opposed to the ones that we have currently that are the you have to have this on the board at this second kind of instance.
Thoughts?
I mean, this card's a menace. I think it's super easy to get the triggers that you want to get with Gambit. I think that this card will be just very powerful on its own. It is just 4 total cost. As far as I could tell, the zombie deck is just gone. So hope you enjoyed that. And actually, that's the saddest part, I think, to me personally, where it's just, yeah, I don't feel like we could play zombies anymore
Mm-hmm.
and feel like we're not making a fool out of ourselves. I think that's actually just my saddest point about this card. But otherwise, I mean, it is a good card. It's going to be a powerful card, and it'll right. If we're going to rank them, I feel like this is probably going to be the top of the list. However, I like other cards coming out this season more, even if this is probably the most powerful one.
So I think we're overrating this. Like, I think this card's really good, but Scott actually just said it in chat. Just play Star-Lord and above, right? Just play Star-Lord decks, just play Mr. Negative decks, just play like this incentivizes that sort of broken combo thing. Like Shulao decks don't really give a shit about this. Like it'll hit their early cost stuff unless you hit like exactly Maverick, their power's popping out late. There's just I think that this is a really, really strong card. And I'm not saying it's bad, don't get me wrong. But like people are talking about it like this is the best and most broken thing ever in Marvel Snap. And I think that they're defaulting to the older version of Snap. Where like if you hit that Angela or Kitty or whatever, the game was over. That this like that's not where the power of the game seems to lie anymore. This isn't hitting your Iron Man, it's not hitting your Fin Fang Foom, your big game winners. And I think that's where Marvel Snap is. This pushes the game further in the direction I don't enjoy. But like this makes end of turn significantly worse, right? Like this makes the Invisible Woman for a step stack significantly worse because if it
Mhm.
hits Invisible Woman or Jocasta or Athena or whatever, you're like miserable. So I think this fundamentally eliminates a lot of the lower cost meta and says, oh yeah, the best thing to do is very clearly the big stuff. The hope long term for me is that this makes the meta so big stuff that people have to play less big, that people like stop playing Gambit, right? Because like no one's playing the stuff that's small enough for Gambit to really matter killing. You don't want to kill an Electro. Although this does make Luna way worse, I suppose. Yeah, you don't want to kill an Electro, right? Like you don't want to kill their ramp cards, you don't want to kill their like big power stuff. You'll hit an occasional like Moonstone or what's his name? Or a Chamber. But like fine.
Mhm.
Like that's a fine trade, right? Like they just did a whole bunch of work to do that and you're still dropping all your big shit. So I'm hoping that like I think this is going to make the meta big. And I'm hoping it makes it big enough that Gambit stops seeing play, and then the meta returns to some sort of like variance.
And you're playing big stuff with Gambit too, or you're creating unknown big stuff that your opponent doesn't know. And that's also like not copying Gambit so you can make the ability proc a couple times. And like in that Victoria hand deck, you're probably a little bit more tech focused too. So you can play some more tech around, also being able to destroy cards, destroying maybe not as many low cost cards, but maybe you end up putting cards more so in the front row so they can be hit by a
Mm.
Cosmic Ghost Rider. Like I think it'll, open up some different avenues for adding, maybe different layers of tech to like that Victoria hand style deck, which could of course still play into those big power kind of metas. So I think with one Gambit, you're like, okay, they're playing big cards. I can't really do much. Maybe with two Gambits though, you maybe be able to open up the door for some other things. So
Hmm. I think this is probably worse than Iska on reflection, but I don't mind putting it above Iska. I think it's going to be close. Where do we
I
land?
think it'll be close. Yeah.
I think it'll be. I think close is fair. I'm higher on it because I'm scared of it, but I think you could easily be correct there, and I don't understand it being below it.
Gotta take a stand. Higher on
I'll
it.
put it above Iska.
All right, Gambit as number one, Iska as number two, which would officially make Gambit one of the best cards in the game. So it could be right. Like my wrongness could lie in that Maverick is and Invisible Woman are probably some of the best cards in the game right now, and taking them out would really change the meta. All right, let's talk about these
The
cards.
interesting thing,
Oh, sorry, go for it.
sorry, I just realized it was it's kind of like Killmonger, I guess, in a way, where it's like, okay, if Killmonger came out today, it'd be the most busted card to release in Marvel Snap.
Hmm.
But we've had it for so long, it kind of just makes sense. And maybe that's going to be where Gambit lies, where we're just be like, yeah, no, the lower power that you have, it is just less safe,
Hmm.
and that's just how cards or lower powers will exist. Which I don't know if I like that, but that is I think that's an interesting consideration.
I would like to cover the next three deck cards together. I would also like to note, hey, Dance, where did these beautiful graphics come from? It even says that one came from T Clash and one came from High Voltage.
That's crazy. I wish I knew. Whoever did it probably is at least halfway interesting and is going to be casting a golden gauntlet in a couple days. But whoever it is, who knows?
So Not My Dunce does
Or already.
all the card graphics on the channel now. That's not fair. All the card graphics. That's actually 100% true. All the card graphics on the channel now, and they're glorious. And just want to say thank you while you're here. So thank you while you're here. Please follow Not My Dunce.
Glad to help.
All right. I'm going to take these three real quickly so we don't take forever, and then we'll talk about them as a group because I don't know. If you have things to say about them not together, feel free. But I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how we should. So, for free in Team Clash or by buying the pass, which you can do for free if you want, it is Sandstorm, which is a 2-cost skill, which is on reveal, add 2 rocks to your hand, give them +1 power for each of your front row characters. So potentially up to 1 sixes, potentially down to 1 zeros. We have Celine, who's a 4/4 objective, have 3 cards with no abilities in play, um, which would be broken with Mysterio, but outside of Mysterio is largely for Rocks decks, which we're about to get, because Rocks have no abilities. This objective is the 4/4 gets steal 5 power from an enemy card here, so a 4/14 when her ability happens. And then the uh, rug that pulls the room together is Ozymandias, who we can get for free in high voltage. As a 5/9 ongoing, your rocks have +3 power. What do we think? Do these belong together? What do we think of them? Let's break it down, Tuck.
I think there's definitely, a home for Celine in that deck. I don't think she has to be a staple necessarily in that deck, but of course she does get enabled by a lot of the, stuff you've going on you're trying to
Mhm.
do. Sandstorm to me is kind of in a sense similar to something like the Hunger. And I think, I mean, they're both skills, but of course it's a 2-cost skill. And I think it's going to be pretty solid. Getting it from a game mode instead of having to pay for it, kind of like you, or I mean, yes, technically you can pay for it, like the Hunger, I think is really, great for that new style of play. So I think fundamentally this should be really good. It's an amazing enabler for that rock style deck. Celine, of course, the Celine is better than current Celine we have currently. The 1-cost Celine, of course, different because one's objective, one's, an on reveal kind of thing here. But I do think Celine's, got some legs. The 4/14, is pretty decent most of the time, and like with you playing that style of rock deck, which is like why you group them together. You're not really having to do too much to get these created cards necessarily. Of course, having cards on the board gives you more power with Sandstorm for those rocks, and then you of course have Ozymandias at a 5/9. Also having the enabler for +3 specifically for rocks is good. Something you can do like a Mystique 2, have Patriot value, Moonstone kind of things if are doing like Mystique stuff. Like I think this in general is cool, and it's like in a lot of instances where you are seeing like a Fin Fang Foom kind of thing, like, oh no, Fin Fang Foom copied the power of my rocks.
Mhm.
Like so there's you hate to see it. That's such a big power on the Fin Fang Foom the way I set up my board. Like I think this is like a really cool like enabler and a really cool concept, that they put together, and I think it's going to have legs, like for sure. And I think a lot of different people are going to be playing this and messing around with this because remember when the Rock bundle was out, everyone wanted to get that Rock avatar, and stuff too. People actually like getting value for rocks. This is like, Darkhawk hasn't really been too relevant in a while, and now you have, oh no, Darkhawk shuffled a rock in my deck. You hate to see it, like. So I kind of feel for Darkhawk maybe in that sense, but like we don't necessarily need a Darkhawk meta again right now. We already got some like crazy stuff going on as much as I love Darkhawk. But I think it's cool. I think these fundamentally are going to be some of the better cards this season as well, at least the rock generation cards. I think Celine's got legs, but I don't know necessarily if it's like, oh, Celine's going to be like one of the best cards of the season. Granted, 410 is nothing to scoff at. I'll be interested to see, do we see Luke Cage now? But I think we are going to start heading in another way to having Luke Cage maybe being a bit more in the meta as we move more towards some of these like affliction cards, whether it is Celine or Caliban, or like some of this other stuff in like April, May. But no, Rock's gonna be good.
Okay. Before we go to Don's here, I just want to ask, please address, does Gambit releasing before Ozymandias, before these cards come together, kill the deck before it gets to live?
Definitely Gambit makes this very sad to play sometimes. But like also, just because tech card exists doesn't always mean, these cards aren't, crazy. But I think a lot of people are going to invest in the Gambit opposed. I mean, Killmonger also kills this deck.
Mhm. This is just the cry for help that we all would like Kyra to be a 3/6 that only protects 1 costs.
Doesn't she only protect 1 cost now? Oh, 6s, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The 6 part
it
never
just
mattered, did it? Like, I can't think of a time when it really mattered.
for a little bit, but not
And
really.
maybe old High Evo when we were coping with Kyra and like High
Yes.
Evo.
Yeah,
But
okay. Yeah, in the like world of Shang, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead, Duns.
I mean, I'm stoked with this deck. The fact that we're getting a rock archetype it's fantastic. I'm just stoked about this. I love that we are getting new archetypes in Marvel Snap consistently, and this just feels like another really cool idea for a deck. I love what Ozymandias is going to be able to do. This is, I think, I mean, you have to run Ozymandias inside of the deck, but if you talk about, I think when you said like, okay, you run all 3 of these in the deck, Ozymandias, I think, has to be the glue for the deck. And I think Celine is a card you would like to have in the deck, but if you don't have it, I think you will be okay. And I'm starting to I like Sandstorm, but I know you don't need to go for the 1/6 each and every time, but I'm also wondering how consistent you want to do that and how easy it is to play it. I think this was something I was struggling with a bit, and Tucker was helping me out with it.
Mhm.
And I feel like maybe you want to get this 1/6 consistently, but maybe I should just be happy with a 1/3 or a 1/4. But I just need more time on the Sandstorm in order to see how that one I think particularly lands. Otherwise, I mean, I just like all these cards. I think they're all really fun. They're all really interesting. And I think Celine might be a worse one just purely due to the fact that I know it's a 4/14, but it's not a free 14. And I don't know
Hmm.
if I love it.
Yeah, I don't think I really expect Celine to go in the deck. Is my long-term take here. I think
Yeah.
she's just annoying enough and inconsistent enough that I'd rather run like a Cull Obsidian because the rocks all cost 1, and like having the 5/9 that seals the power. Yes, 14 is a lot more than 10,
Hmm.
but 4 is
Mhm.
4 is more or less than 10 than 14 is more, right? I think I'm
Yeah.
reasonably willing to like ignore this. Also, as far as Sandstorm goes, it's a turn 4 play, right? Like it has to be a turn 4 play. But that's to
Hmm.
its benefit because you really, 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 really want your turn 3 play to be Debris in this list.
Yeah.
Like Debris is the
That's
most
fair.
important card. If you get Debris, you're gonna get the 1/6s.
Hmm.
Because Debris is a 4 already. Then you have turn 1, 2, and turn 4 to play other cards to make Sandstorm better. Then you play Ozymandias on 5, and you play all your rock shit on 6, and you win. Rocks and Patriot would be, I assume, turn 6. Right?
You get
Like,
your Herbie, making sure you get the rock on the board too, right? Herbie's
yeah.
the
Is
cope
there a
card, but like,
But you throw it
Give
in
me
because,
Mole
like, the
Man's the
extra
cope
energy
card.
is nice, right? Like,
yeah.
Mole Man's the cope card, if anything.
I think Moleman's probably beast. Like I, the what I,
Yes,
the,
cope with me.
what I'm hoping is we don't have to run Ultron in the list. I don't think this list can ever be meta, right? Like let's say we get what's 12 power of rocks in every lane, right? Or let's say we have Patriot and we get 20 power of rocks in every lane. That's still not enough to
Hmm.
win most games of Marvel Snap, right? Like we're still
Not
not
you scale,
winning.
go to 24.
Yeah, like great. So I
Is
still,
there
you know,
my cope for this deck is you get to go you turn 2 Black Swan, turn 3 what is it? Then you go turn 3 Debris, turn 4 Sandstorm, turn 5 Ozymandias, activate Black Swan. Shoot, I don't know when you're playing Mole Man. I don't know, you've gotten Mole Man at some point as well. That's not my problem. At least not now. And then you just play like a bunch of rocks on that final turn, plus like a Mystique and even
hit monkey.
Chameleon just for fun times. Ooh, Hitmonkey's fun too.
Yeah, I don't know. This can't be a real deck, but it is a really, really fun deck. So I'm good enough with that.
Yes.
Hmm.
Also, like
For
they're
that
giving.
reason, I say Ozymandias is number 1.
Okay, no, but also like everyone gets to play limited time game modes, right? Even early collection players.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So they just get a deck. They get Sandstorm and Ozymandias, and then like Debris is a Series 3 card. Rhino, I think, is Series 3. So you just get a deck really
Rhino
early.
Series 2, I think even. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you just get access to a deck early, so that's really cool too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Right.
it's like honestly, it feels similar to High Evolutionary.
And they're fun game modes too that you're playing.
True. Well, Overdrive is 50-50 for me, but Team Clash, I'm stoked for that one.
Um, yeah, I don't really like Overdrive, but Team Clash is like my favorite of the modes by like an awful lot. I just
Yeah.
wish they did new champions more often. I don't like playing with the same champions.
Wait, are you talking about Team Clash or is that the other one?
Oh
Grand
wait,
Arena.
then which is Team
Yeah,
Clash? Maybe I'm getting them confused.
The 6 cards you
Oh
have to
no, I
have.
didn't like Team Clash. I didn't. I thought there wasn't enough
Oh,
space to really mess with. Sorry, Team Clash was too easily solved. There was too many cards that you had to have.
Gotcha.
So like Team Clash was fine. It was just there wasn't enough deck building for me.
that's fair enough.
Well, we get a
Clash is
new
fine. Like it's
new
not
team
bad.
though in Team Clash.
Yeah, that's true.
We do get the Brotherhood of Mutants.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. Look, I'm willing to mess with it. I bet. I'm willing to mess with it.
Yeah.
All right. So above Juggernaut and Apocalypse, below the Broken 2. It's probably worse
Yeah.
than Juggernaut, but like it's way more fun. So I'm
But we
willing to
keep
put it front.
Celine
Celine bottom.
Celine
Yeah.
worse than Jug. Yeah.
So and better. Is
Celine worse
Celine
than
better
Jug, yeah.
than is Celine better than Apocalypse?
Mm,
I'd have it below
maybe, but I
Apocalypse.
don't think we can. I don't know if we can put her up there. Maybe she actually is, but like, I'm 50-50 on her
I don't know.
being actually like up that high.
I like Apocalypse in Thanos, and I don't know if I want Celine in the deck she's supposed to go in.
Fair.
All right, are we almost done? This season feels like it's got so few cards. All right, I guess we got used to the seasons where they were like, "Here's 70 cards, deal with it." Who's done? So read Caliban. Why not? Another one with the freaking metal goatee. What the hell? All right, go ahead.
That's just an Egyptian style, I guess. But anyway, Caliban, the Horseman of Pestilence, is releasing on the 17th with the objective ability have 3 cards that are 4 cost or higher in play. And that is again a have, which is concurrent. And once you've done so, it afflicts the highest cost enemy card with -7 power. Now, Glazer, why do you love or hate this card? As I've decided to turn into your role.
This is Drax again for the Doom 2099 list. I don't think I run it over Drax because I'm running Invisible Woman for steps in the deck. But if you didn't get Drax and you get Caliban, you'll feel totally fine. I think this is fundamentally the same card. Am I wrong here?
Power scaling wise, I mean, it's another essentially a 311, and Drax, can go to
Yeah, Drax can get
310 with 2 things and or bigger, but like Drax can potentially win you the game, potentially lose you the game.
and Drax has Invisible Woman in the deck.
Yeah. So I see what you're saying, like scaling wise for this kind of like Drax. I mean, if you don't have maybe another 3 cost you want to run in that tempo as well, this isn't the worst case scenario to have in there either as just another card to add or help you win lanes and stuff. But it looks at the highest cost on the board at the moment that it afflicts. So like it does targeting kind of, but it's more so a 3 cost like Omega Sentinel, but Omega Sentinel you can proc potentially multiple times. You build
Yeah.
around maybe a bit differently.
Mhm.
But I think this is another just like kind of solid card. Do I like this probably a bit more than Celine? Yes, but like at the same time, it's like, are we playing? They're not playing in the same style decks, but like with Celine, it's like I have to have created cards for this. It's like, well, I play tempo 4, 5, 6. I can do things, or I play like a Doom. I play Doom 2099. Like I think this has more potential to be playable, but probably than like a Celine. But I'm still not like super high on this card.
Dunce?
I'm a lot higher on Caliban, I think, personally, than Celine, as this is, like you said, a 3, potentially 11. And I feel like that's that's an interesting stat line with the very easy question of just, hey, play some big cards or just play Doom 2099. This card, I think, is honestly, I think this is going to be one of the sleepers of the season that we come out of it. And I understand Iska is the big thing, and we've got stuff with Gambit. But Caliban's just going to be sitting there in the back. Like, he looks like someone as well who's just sitting there in the background conniving like that. Like the grand, like Jafar does in Aladdin, where he's just sitting there the whole time in the background being like, yes, of course, like silently pulling everything in the shadows. Caliban gives me that vibe, and I also think he's going to be doing stuff similar to that this season in terms of just, I feel like he's a good guard. I don't know.
When we get objective doubling, and it's not if, it's when, right? They gave us doubling for everything. Like every other keyword, I believe, has a doubler. Am I making that up?
Not when destroyed and when discarded. Those are the only ones we haven't gotten one for yet. Or game start.
True. I don't know how you would double a game start. The game starts twice, right? Like that'd be awkward. But
That was the Kang rework they didn't do.
fair. So yeah, I think when they give us objective doubling, he's going to be broken. But until then, he's just fine. You can throw him in a deck, but you don't have to. Like he's in any deck that wants him. He's an auto like can run, cannot run. He's a good 12th, 13th card, and he's always gonna. He just is a 311 unless they have Luke Cage or no cards on the board, I guess.
It
That
is a
makes
good
sense.
hit against Iska too, potentially. That's not a good shout.
Yeah. Well, East could be the
Mhm.
highest cost enemy card in play. It seems unlikely.
Honestly, for the end of turn deck, maybe.
If he's triggered, right? Like a reason one of the time, like you're probably yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Like otherwise, that's I think actually that's the he's a very good answer to Iska. I
Oh, highest
hadn't thought about
cost
that.
enemy card in play. Right. I had it the highest power
Yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
my head. Yeah, okay. That does change things. Highest cost is different. So yeah,
Yeah.
it will hit Iska really well. That pushes it up a good amount. Is
Actually,
and
that's a really I kind of hadn't thought about Iska, just like how well that counters this card.
Mm-hmm.
objective does it works after end of turn, so he will double the 17 times before hit though.
Assuming you're not already winning, like you could be losing that lane by just a few points and still be okay.
True. True.
Yeah, that's actually I
But if
okay, I
you're
already forgot who said the Iska shout, but that's actually phenomenal. I think.
Game
yeah,
and
that moves it up above a bunch of stuff, right? Up to the third place.
I'd say so.
Yeah. All right. Wow. There's only one card left. Does anyone want to talk about this weird ass card?
Do you want to do you want me to give you the image so you can talk about the weird stuff with this card?
Do you have an image for that? Sure.
Yeah, I showed it to you. I think last time we talked about this card together.
Go for it.
Yeah, let me. I'll send you the link while I talk about this card.
Okay.
It is Rama-Tut, the final card releasing this season, whereas all the other horsemen do have these direct objectives. Rama-Tut's is not so much an objective. He just kind of says, hey, what if I just do a bunch of weird stuff? What if I get to do a bunch of random things? And he does a lot, to be fair, of random things. Glazer, what type of random things are we going to be seeing out of Rama-Tut?
And want me to read them all? Oh, I had to read them as fast as I could last time. Don't make me do that again.
Oh, okay, fine. I won't make you do it again.
Do you
Tucker will
really
tell you
want
how
me
you have
to?
to read them. Tucker, do
Tucker.
you want him to?
you don't have to read them as fast as you can, but you should probably read them.
Arrow, Agent 13, Agent Coulson, Eliath, America Chavez, Anti-Venom, Ares, Arnim, Zola, Baron Zemo, Bastion, Black Bolt, Black Panther, Blink, Blob, Brood, Cable, Cannonball, Cassandra Nova, Cloak, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Crystal, Dokken, Deafening Chord, Destroyer, did Destroy if it hits Deafening Chord, Doctor Doom, Doctor Octopus, Doctor Strange, Electro, Esme Cuckoo, Fallen One, Forge, Frigate, Gambit, Gilgamesh, Gladiator, Grandmaster, Gwenpool, Hawkeye, Hazmat, Hellion, Hitmonkey, Hood, Hydroman, Iceman, Ironheart, Iron Patriot, Jubilee, Juggernaut, Kahori, Kate Bishop, Korg, Luffy, Leader, Legion, Loki, Luna Snow, Magneto, Malekith, Maria Hill, Mirage, Mr. Sinister, Modok, Yikes, Moleman, Moon Knight, Nakia, Odin, Okoye, Penny Parker, Fastos, Polaris, Prowler, Psylocke, Quake, Red Guardian, Rockslide, Sage, Sandman, Scarlet Witch, Scorpion, Celine, Sentinel, Cersei, Shang-Chi, Shauna, Shuri, Silver Sable, Silver Samurai, Silver Surfer, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman, Stegron, Storm, Taskmaster, Terex, The Hunger, Valentina, Venom, Viper, Wave, White Queen, White Tiger, Wolfsbane, Zombie Giant Man, and Zombie Sentry. So if you would like that list, please make sure you check out the video of this podcast on YouTube so you can see it, or Snapdot fan, which is apparently credited in the top left corner. There's only 2 bad hits, right?
There's a couple. There's some mid hits, but there are a couple of direct bad hits, but there are also a couple mid hits, I think, here.
Like Modok and Viper are bad most of the time.
You have Destroyer in there as well, I think.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Destroyer,
Yeah.
Electro.
Ooh, yeah.
Electro's not bad because he just used the on reveal. That's actually a good card, I'd say.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Electro,
copy
you
the
don't-
text.
Okay.
Right? Maybe it does, but according to this, it just uses the on reveal.
Taskmaster,
Task is fine.
And that could be.
It could be good or bad.
There's a lot.
Silver
There's a lot of
Silver
cards-
Samurai.
There's a lot of cards that I feel like are mid. Some of them that are
Moon
just
Knight.
actually bad. But I do like what this card is doing in general. Feels like a lot of fun. I'm hoping it's going to be okay. I feel like my only place where I thought I liked this guy, I think, was in. Unfortunately, as I'm not personally a big fan of the deck, was Erisham because it kind of works in similar to location variants in terms of, hey, I can deal with all this front-loaded location. Like that's one of the reasons that locations work in Marvel Snap, because you just have they're all front-loaded. You find out what the random stuff is, all the weird stuff is by turn 3. And on Erisham, assuming you do draw it, you can play this guy on turn 3. And I'm uncertain how much I'm uncertain how consistent it will be, all that stuff. But it feels like an interesting card. Hopefully it's going to be fun. There are real ways this card can be okay, and plenty of ways that it could also not be.
Tuck?
I mean the high highs and the low lows are kind of a little far in between. So like seeing all these animations go off definitely will
CGR
be,
is bad.
you
Sorry.
know, there will be some crazy kind of like,
It's good, you mean, right?
Oh, CGR. I had first Ghost Rider in my head. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
So like that way a lot of like cool, interactions like with this, like you'll get some like cool stuff to happen kind of things. Like there's a lot of really good cards on here too. This is like into a matchup, like, oh, I'm facing a Rama-Tut's in my opponent's deck. What exactly am I gonna get hit by? So like I think that's gonna be like kind of break down some like just the fundamentals of Snap, especially since it uses 3 different on reveals. The odds of you getting the same 3 like every single time are so far in between. But fun wise, really, really fun. High highs, the low lows, like we're talking about, aren't honestly too low. But 4 or 5. Don't hate it, but I don't know. It's a weird card to kind of think about.
Right. Do we know how many cards are on this list?
You can count it out if you want to. I don't know it, but it's a lot. I remember I counted at one point. I just don't want to count it again.
21 times 5, so like 100 and
104.
104.
Because there's one less card in the right lane.
Okay,
Right
104.
spot.
So 104 divided by 3 is
100.
There's
Wait,
3 terrible hits.
It's like 104 divided by 3 is like 34 and a half ish, 35.
I mean, 1 in 35 to get a really terrible hit doesn't
yeah.
seem bad, right? Like,
yeah. And there's some really good ones in there, by the way, as well, in terms of like hits. Like, imagine you could go Blob into then getting a Black Panther, then getting a Brood. You've won the lane.
So, like, no, I think he's good. Like, that's what my hot take is going to be here. I don't think he's great, and there's enough times when he's going to be just sort of whatever. But, like, you don't have to get 3 god hits, right? Like, sometimes he's just going to be like, oh, look, I got a wave and a Brood. And you're like, huh, now I can play Zola on turn 5. Cool. Like, there's enough times that he's good that I think I'm interested here. And he uses the honor reveals. He doesn't copy the honor reveals. So if I like copy him, he's gonna get 3 new honor reveals. I don't know. I think he's like actually good. I don't think he's great, probably, but I think he's good. Yeah, he's definitely good in Erisham, as Scott notices in chat. But like, if this is the real list, if this list is accurate, and there's not like, I don't know, what other card would be really bad for him to hit?
I mean, you mentioned first Ghost Rider. That'd be a bad one.
First Ghost Rider. If we had like 5 more bad hits, then I think he's bad. But if these are the hits, I think he's probably really good.
There's a website, or someone made it not a website. It was like a GitHub script thing that someone made.
Gladiator would be bad.
What?
Oh, Gladiator is bad.
Gladiators. He's. I think Dr. Octopus is worse than Gladiator.
Gladiator in our current meta though, at a 4/5.
Yeah, that's fair. There's but there's a website you can do in terms of like just rolling on this guy. It'll basically just simulate. Hey, what if you just roll this and see? Just put all of them in the same list. Randomly pick 3, and do that. We don't know. We don't know if there are any weights, to be fair.
But it says they are weighted.
Yeah, that's what I just saw in chat, which is interesting. I mean, that's if stuff is weighted, that's a big change in terms of how good stuff could be. Because I'm assuming the high highs and the low lows are weighted. Then, if it's weighted, which feels like a big weird thing. Also, Loki again, but if you're running it in Airsham, it's probably fine there.
Mhm.
You also, yeah, I don't know. It's a cool card. I like this card. It's gonna be weird. I'm hoping it's not good. Is my take. I want it just to be okay, and that's it. Because I think if it's too good, I don't really want to exist in a meta where where I just have to be like, all right, who knows what they're going for.
Look, I'm waiting another week for everyone to remember that Star-Lord is good. And if Star-Lord is good again, then this might as well be good, because who fucking cares anymore?
Okay, are there any of the Guardians in here?
No,
Any of them?
none. I don't believe
But I
so
mean, even
anyway.
still, Star Lord and stuff like the week this comes out, also we should have, or the week before, another OTA. So if Star Lord's still good, doesn't get hit this
I don't
OTA
think
next week, maybe it gets hit in 2 weeks
it's not
or
getting
3
played
weeks.
enough, so it won't be. It would be like the end of the month. I think it's gonna. So no one's gonna play it this week because we got 3 new cards, and then next week I assume people start being like, "Oh wait, this is still one of the best things we can do," and going back to it.
The
The same
exposure
thing
in the
that happened to
gauntlet, I
Show.
think, will also put thing into perspective too, though.
Maybe.
They might do some changes based off the gauntlet. I also don't. I think there's going to be a lot more changes in terms of the OTA. That will be you can don't forget like they aren't just basing it off of from Tuesday to the gauntlet. They do have the previous week of information as well, and
Hmm.
so depending on how he was doing before the new season rolled over, that also might change the way that he does.
Yeah, I don't think they're changing Star Lord again for a bit. I think they're gonna leave him because he'll be underplayed. And then, yeah, I would be surprised if they change Star Lord again soon. But I do think Star Lord is going to follow the same trajectory as Sholau. I think they're more likely to nerf Sholau in the next OTA.
Yeah, it's been enough time with Sholau past this season. I wouldn't be surprised.
How's he doing? Sorry, this is so like we're not. I know we're talking about the new cards. How is he doing according to like public facing stats recently?
I mean, I can look it up literally on screen right now.
Fair.
Just hit cards. Top 50% infinite. That's probably not the best place to look.
Not as of the latest patch. Just you can do probably all of Infinite if you do, or yeah, the last 7 days. There you go. Assuming that is still gonna not just do that bit, but yeah.
B tier 0.39 cubes, 56% win rate. And a lot of the other
Yeah.
cards here. Look. I mean, like Cosmo Sam Wilson, which is in a Shulau deck, Hope Summers, which is in a Shulau
Mm-hmm.
deck, and Jocasta, which is suddenly taking off because of Iska. And then we've got Star-Lord Foom Zola from one deck, right? Luna from that
Mm-hmm.
same deck, Kate and Sholau and Surge from that deck. So it's just those are the two decks over the last
I'm
7
gonna ask you
days.
to look at one more piece of data.
Uh-huh.
Could you look at 80 to 100?
Sure.
Because
That we
I
can look
think
at
that
since
top
last patch, though, right?
probably can. I feel like Second Dinner looks at that information a lot more so. Because just based off the way that they like don't nerf like the cards that are pressed at the top of Infinite often.
Well, the best deck in the game, the best card in the game from 80 to 100 since the last patch is Awesome Andy. So I don't know if Smiles is still here, but it's Awesome Andy. And then Cap and Goliath, and then Iska, CGR, Invis, Aurora, Chamber,
Yeah.
Cosmo. Much worse here.
Yeah.
Still
This is
chilling
the
in the
thing
B
I've
tier.
seen.
Still chilling in the B tier.
It has about the same win rate, but the popularity goes way down as you go further down because it's also like less people are playing it. I think there's a world in which Shulav doesn't get hit until the following OTA because of lower tiered players, which is I'm trying to say like I'm not trying to be again rude in any way with that
Oh.
bit. It's just like that's from the anecdotes and the information I've personally seen, it seems that Star-Lord is better pre-infinite and worse post. Shulao is better post-infinite and worse pre. And so
in terms of cube rate pre-infinite, Star-Lord has a better cube rate but a worse win rate, and Show has a better win rate but a worse cube rate.
yeah.
least according to these stats.
And my biggest problem, I think, with those stats is that both of those, according to what Second Dinner says, are about within the realm of what they consider an acceptable win rate. If anything, we're probably going to see more end of turn stuff getting messed with here.
If I had to guess, what Golden Gauntlet tells us is Golden Gauntlet tells us Sholau is a problem.
Oh yeah, I think that's a very fair statement.
So, if that's the case, God, I hope they don't nerf Cosmic Ghost Rider again. But if that's the case, then that's what I see getting nerfed. Because whatever comes out of that tournament's going to get a lot of play. Which it always boggles my mind, like completely breaks my mind, that the first place deck becomes insanely popular. No one ever pays attention to the second place deck. And a lot of the times for ladder, the second place deck is just better.
I like that logic. That's fun. You can't tell, but you can't out yourself. You can't out the secret strategy like that.
I say it.
Or that's the thumbnail.
Yeah, I say it in videos.
Don't play the deck that wins.
No, it's true, right? Like the first Golden Gauntlet was the fucking was the bounce deck, and that was like the worst deck in the top 8. And everyone's like that had like a 40% win rate if your name wasn't Derek.
Yeah.
And like you should
Fair.
like, but if everyone like if Sizer won, if Sizer finished in 3rd, like Move Bounce was the best deck in the game.
Yeah.
All right.
We should talk about these cards. Sorry, that's a big tangent. We ranked him. Nice.
You think he's worst?
I still do because it's random, but I know you're hot. Tuck, where are you feeling with that?
Who being the worst card?
Rama-Tut. I think he's somewhere around Caliban.
I don't mind putting him above En Sabah Nur.
Okay, that's a good compromise, I think. So below Juggernaut.
Fair.
Let's put him above Juggernaut.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, I think he's going to be surprisingly good. That's my take. All right, so our final rankings are: the worst card of the season is Celine. A 513 is the worst. 413 is the worst card of the season. 414. I know how math works. Shut up. Next worst is En Sabah Nur, as the season pass card really, really struggles this season. From there, we have Juggernaut Horseman of War. 2-8, struggling too. Rama-Tut, who has seemingly not that many terrible hits, but we shall see. At that point, we have Ozymandias and Sandstorm together, who you can get for free from Team Clash and High Voltage Overdrive. A brand new deck for free. The fun factor really pushing that one up. Then we have Caliban upon the realization of chat. Thank you, chat. That he will absolutely cripple or occasionally cripple Eriska. Then in the number 2 spot, Eriska, who I think is probably right now the 3rd best card in the game. And then in number 1 spot, Gambit, who seems like he should change the meta completely. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right.
I like that stuff. Oh, Gambit.
We have variant of the week. All right. Who picked the far left Gambit? This is complicated. I'm aware. I was in that chat.
I think it's technically Tucker.
So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna just rip the Band-Aid off right now. Both Gambits on the left and in the middle. Dance and I had it as our 1A, 1B. So like we couldn't cohesively decide. Well, you know what? I want to be different, and we can't have the same variant. Kind of situation here. So that's what we got going on because we really like both of these Gambits. The animation of both is fantastic. But I mean, this card in general, like both of those, even like the third one, just radiate aura. I mean, Gambit just has aura, anyways. Even though Gambit Cannon is one of the most toxic things in the game, just this card radiates aura, and I think the first two for sure show it pretty well.
Yeah, and neither one of them, to be fair, is out in the game I think yet. I think they both come out this month, or one of them comes out next month. Mm-hmm. But they're both just really cool. I think also Tucker hit it on the animations really well, especially what is it? God, they have no reason to look as good as they do, just in terms of it's just the purple glowy card, but they look fantastic, and it's also part of the reason I think why that was it the new Gambit Horseman, right? Who's going to be coming out later this week. He also has some really cool animations according to data. There's some fun stuff happening there, and just both those are solid. And not to say that, of course, the Luca Claretti one, that I think that Glazer's at you on the right.
Yeah.
It looks great too. God, these are just such cool looking cards.
So, I like the Luca one best because I really, really like the way the cards fly out, and I like that the someone in chat noticed. Boombot noticed. Hi, Boombot. Noticed that the Queen of Hearts is rogue, and I think that's a really, really cool twist. Did
Wait,
you
what?
notice the Queen of Hearts is rogue?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So the
No,
Queen,
I hadn't. That is
yeah, that's what puts it over the top for me. It's the stance and that the Queen of Hearts is rogue, but also it looks like number 3. Number 3. Number 2 goes into number 3. Did either of you play Marvel vs. Capcom 2? I assume Marvel vs. Capcom 3 too, but I don't remember that game as well.
no.
No.
I think
So
I
I hadn't,
only played the third
unfortunately.
one. I think I only played the third one.
So in MVC2, right before Gambit's big "I throw a million cards at you" attack, he makes the
Mhm.
exact stance that's in the second variant.
Hmm.
That's fun.
So
That's really cool.
that's why I like that one, but still not quite as good as the Queen of Hearts being rogue, which I think is just so cool.
Tucker, did you notice that he made his variant the largest one out of these 3?
Yeah, he wanted to out aura us.
I
Yeah,
did.
apparently
I didn't
so.
want to. I did out aura you. I'm aura farming right
God.
now. Thank you.
I don't know. Gambit looked like he got chicken legs in the one that he put
That's
us.
dang. Dang. You
Why you
can't
gotta
do
hit-
him like that.
But Gambit should have chicken legs. I'm okay with that.
No. Gambit's gotta have strong legs to be able to throw those cards as far as possible. You guys know the movement comes from the legs first.
No, I don't. So like Gambit's charging them with literal kinetic energy. I assume that
I
like he
mean,
doesn't actually have to throw them that far.
That's true. No. Gambit would not skip leg day.
I
He's
don't.
No,
way-
dude, you kidding me?
way
He's
too fast.
he have you seen how thick Rogue is? He picks up Rogue. Like he's got leg day on lock.
Rogue is just flying. It just looks like he's picking her up. Very easy to pick up a flyer.
That's-
She's just levitating in his arms.
She's like, "That's okay, honey. You got chicken legs. Don't worry about it."
Oh, that's at least she says that to him. That's nice.
Man.
Poor
Let's
guy.
go.
That's rough out there. Hopefully, I'm stoked for X-Men the next season of the show. That's gonna be so
When
much fun.
is it?
Let's go. Toasty.
It's
Like
is it
eventually?
when is it soon?
I don't
It's
know.
this summer is the next season.
Oh, nice.
It's
That's
oh,
amazing.
and wait, so then Daredevil's this month, right?
Yeah, Daredevil's this month. Then we have
Why do they get the orders backwards
we
for
got
seasons?
Spider-Man, Brand New Day, and X-Men 97 this summer.
Nice.
They got their orders all messed up in this season. Like the season should have swapped the Daredevil and the X-Men seasons around then.
Nah, Daredevil doesn't have all the objective cards. They want all the X-Men to have objective cards.
Or all the Horsemen, right? That's what they said. Which, according to
Yeah.
Data Mines, also makes a lot of sense there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I like
Yeah.
that stuff. It's fun.
Hey,
And Spider-Man Noir made, but that's Amazon opposed to I think
yeah,
MCU.
I don't think I'm watching.
That's when-
Spider-Man Noir.
That's when he gets to be an objective card.
Yeah, if they change him, then I think they'll retroactively probably change cards. If Phantom X becomes an objective card, like you're saying,
That's what they said in the vid.
fundamentally. That's oh my gosh.
Well, they didn't say it was confirmed, but they said there were cards they were looking at, and one of the ones they were looking at that they mentioned in particular was Phantom X. Because I know you're doing the hard sell, but I want to know if you were second dinner and you had the ability to change a card into an objective card, which card would you change?
Oh shit. Well, I don't know. It wouldn't be Phantom X. I don't think Phantom X should be an objective.
No, because that'd be busted.
Well, I just
It'll
think
be
it
good.
also means that like it's harder to play him early because if you accidentally trigger him early, you know what I mean? You're not getting what you want.
Mm.
So like I think
You
I
could
think
play him
It's easier to
later than-
copy him.
Like,
yeah, but you could play him later, but he's harder to play later. You could copy him at that point. But like yeah, I guess you could copy him. That might make up enough.
He's weird. It's like it makes it harder, but it's also easier, right? Because
Just
you don't
make
really
him-
want to play it as early.
Just make him a 3-cost activate.
make Phantom X a 3-cost activate.
Yeah, like I don't get the hold up here. Just like that's the solution.
I don't think it'll happen. That'd be cool.
What card would I
But I
want
just
to be
don't
an
think it would.
activate? Sorry, objective.
Or not activate, objective.
So the problem is then I have to figure out what the objective is too, and that's what's going to hold me up. Because like the answer is
There you go. Well,
probably Black Swan. but I don't know what objective I want for that.
Tucker, while he figures that out, where would people find you?
You guys can find me here on Twitch or YouTube. You're watching this on YouTube. You're watching us on Twitch if you're here with us right now, which you guys should say hi, YouTube. But you can find me here on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter/TikTok under Tucker TUCCRR. And if you guys just want some really high energy, really late at night interactive content where everyone is welcome and it really is just we're all hanging out as friends. You know, I might be streaming, but we're all just hanging out, talking about Snap, talking about other things, just vibing, having a good time. Definitely feel free to check out the Twitch. And then if you guys want updates on like cards, if you want to know should you get said card, and I list 3 separate decks for almost every single card that comes out on a week-to-week basis, talking about key synergies and counters. The floor and ceiling potentially for it. You should watch Buy or Bust. And then if you also want to watch a podcast every single week where Dance and I go over just a variety of different topics, give OTA predictions and reviews, as well as have tier lists every now and then, and just have overall just a great time with a variety of different sections opposed to just being the same thing like every single week. You should also check out Marvel Yap, which is on my YouTube as well on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Wow, that was so professional.
Did you figure out an objective?
No, I don't know what the objective should be. Maybe have one cost of each of each different cost. One card, one cost, 1 2 cost, 1 3 cost in play, at least.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think
you could also just make it even something as simple as where it's like have a 1 cost at each location.
Yeah, that would work too.
That's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, just some things, because Black Swan is like, the problem is you can only play her. You can play her on turn 2, 3, 4, and like you really want to be able to play her on turn 5, and that would allow you to. You just have to control how you do things, right?
Yeah, that's a fun. I like that shot for Black Swan. I hadn't thought about her, but that is one that I think that would be a great one to have as a objective. It's weird. They're like, all right, this is one of the cards we really want to make an activate because she'll be better as an activate. She sucks currently as a non-reveal, and now we're like, yeah, cool. Just try. We like the idea of the card. Just make it different each time. At some point that'll stick. We swear.
Next time next new keyword we can switch her again. Yeah. What's your answer?
I wasn't prepared for an answer. I was just prepared to make you give an answer.
Tucker's answering too.
I think maybe like Surtur, like play 2 cards with 10 or more power. Surtur gets like +5.
Nice. Well, then he's just 10 power Surtur again though on turn 6, right? Isn't that what we're avoiding?
Yeah, but Scar's not 6 cost anymore, so it's okay, right?
Surely.
So.
No. I think the 3 cost Scar is still probably a problem. Although we can only do it with Juggernaut, which is
that'd be 1 cost Scar.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, no, that seems bad. Yeah, that seems bad.
Ooh, okay, I got it. Baron Mordo, objective. Your opponent has a full hand with the ability that the lowest cost card in their deck or in their hand costs 6.
Nice. So
actually, no, give Akamoto an objective. Actually,
I was thinking about an Agamotto objective. I couldn't think of one.
So he has the game start, and then he also has an objective on himself. But
I mean, just like play all of the spells, and then he gets like +10 power.
That's Thanos.
Okay, play all the spells, and he casts one of them again. Casts the energy one again.
I'm down.
The last spell it has to be the energy because you don't want the others twice.
I don't know. I think Winds of Tomb could be interesting.
That's true.
I think Marvel Snap is a fun game, and I'm glad and I appreciate Glazer having us on, and I love talking about it.
That's Dunce trying to move us along. Dunce, let's follow you. Where?
It is. I just realized what time it is, and I have some stuff I need to take care of before I do my other stuff. I'll be over at twitch.tv/notmydance, in which I'll stream. I'm trying to do consistent schedules. I'm stuck at it, but I'm still trying. At least of Wednesday mornings early, because then I just get to get all the aftermath of the new card and then see what everyone else already figured out and get to enjoy or really hate the new card each and every week. But that's been the most fun. So if you want to check me out, Check me out over there. I think I'm streaming at the same time as Glazer apparently most days, but
Wednesday
it's fine.
mornings,
Yeah, it's fine. I'm worse at Marvel Snap than he is. So if you want to go
Oh,
hang out
gosh.
over with me, and you should come on over. And I also do post stuff on YouTube when I'm not busy with 19 million other things. And whatever I'll be posting, that'll be over there. And that I have a fun time. So if you want to hang out, you're always welcome to come on over. Just chat, vibe. And I take very few things in life seriously because I think life's a lot more fun if you can have fun with it. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Follow our wonderful, wonderful friends, please. You will regret not doing so because I'll make you regret it. Sounds good? Sounds good.
Kick ass.
Let's get us out of here. Patreon.com/snapjudgments is how you can support us extra if you want to. Thank you to Code, our Patreon with Abigail, Mentor, Burn, LEB, Inc., I'm Frostman, Hotan, Avatar, Ryan Burke, Ryan Snapper, Mentor, Group, Mythical, Forget, Characters, Lead, Carvey, because there's Shark Angel, Thurcat, Black Dahlia, Pyro, the Goat Seeker, who is leaving Snap. I'm going to miss you, Goatsy. Much love. Jonesy Snap 22, Hello, Fat Nick, Absolute Shen, Dirty Casual, Dark Mobile, Mr. Kerfuffle, Ginger Prime, Philly, Handlers, the Danger, the Business, Black TV, Trinity, Skibba G, Jessica Gallo, Slush, the King of the Great Kazoo, Werewolf, Kevsoda, Clam, David G. Wing, Filters, Nice Martin, Jason B, Matt B, William Billy, Nick, Charles, Richard, Richard, Corbin, John Q, Jimmy Q, Study, Season 1, Big Man, Cactus, Jack, Steve O, York, Ted, Pro, Quipper, Just, Joe, Biggity Move, Oculars, Green Goblin, Flump, 6, Spectrums, Olifax, Matt H, G, Macajack, Dover, Lex, Nick 3, Geek, Toxic, Soul, King, Baby, King Emissary, Nope, King of Canada, JJ, Deadman, Falcon. Sorry. Fathor Newman, I couldn't say Newman's name for some reason. Two Ties, the Great Lord Alistair Pirate King Tucker, and of course, Gunny T, where the T stands for the Pirate King Tucker. Take us out.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. By the way, guys, if you guys, like I said, are on this channel, make sure you guys, like I just said, like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Let us know down below where we are wrong about the way we rank these cards, or if we are completely right. And definitely hit that notification bell to be alerted when every single video is live, as this channel does do daily uploads, and like Glazer said earlier, has been doing it for 3 years straight. This is day 1, we believe, of year 4. So thank you guys for all the love and support, which allows Dance and I to be able to, hop on this channel and vibe with you guys as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. It's been real. God bless, and laters.
Peace and love, everybody.